Even decades after the guns fell silent, many veterans of World War II would share their stories. They'd talk about the Normandy landings, the Battle of the Bulge, or the island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific. But there was one front, one theater of war, so horrific that many soldiers who survived it took their memories to the grave. They simply refused to speak about it. This was the Eastern Front. What made this front so exceptionally brutal? It wasn't just a clash of armies. It was a war of annihilation. From the very beginning, with Operation Barbarossa in 1941, conflict was fueled by a level of ideological hatred rarely seen. For the soldiers involved, this wasn't about capturing territory. It was about erasing an entire people and their way of life. The fighting was total, with no distinction between combatants and civilians. Entire cities were besieged and starved, millions were displaced, and unimaginable atrocities became commonplace. The sheer scale of the conflict is mind-boggling. This was the largest military confrontation in history. We were talking about millions of soldiers locked in a death grip across a front that stretched for over 1,000 miles. Battles like Stalingrad and Kursk involved millions of men and tens of thousands of tanks and aircraft. The casualty numbers are almost impossible to comprehend. For every one American soldier who died in World War II, it's estimated that 80 Soviet soldiers lost their lives. The human cost was simply catastrophic. Then there was the environment. Soldiers fought in the blistering heat of summer and the soul-crushing cold of the Russian winter, where temperatures could plummet to minus 40 degrees. Frostbite was as much an enemy as bullets. Malnutrition, disease, and exhaustion were constant companions. For a soldier on the Eastern Front, survival wasn't a matter of days or weeks, but of enduring years of relentless, grinding warfare against both the enemy and the elements. The psychological toll was immense. Soldiers witnessed horrors that defied description. They saw friends perish in the most gruesome ways. They saw cities turn to rubble, and they were often forced to participate in acts that haunted them forever. This concept of rules of war often disintegrated. Prisoners on both sides faced brutal treatment or summary execution. There was no room for mercy. For those who came home, the mental scars were as deep, if not deeper, than the physical ones. How could you possibly explain the things you had seen and done to someone who hadn't been there? For many, silence was the only way to cope. This brutal chapter of history serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human conflict. The silence of the veterans wasn't born of shame or forgetfulness, but from the simple, profound inability of words to capture the true horror of the Eastern Front. It was a hell on earth that they had survived, but could never truly leave behind. Thank you for watching. If you found this perspective valuable, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history.